So what is the difference between standards and curriculum? Standards are given from a state level. It is legislators in conjunction with educators determining what a student needs to learn in order to pass the standards given by the state. And then those standards are handed down to local administrators, where it is then turned into curriculum. And that's how an educator teaches the students. So local teachers and administrators recommend the curriculum, such as, the textbooks, the topics, the subjects, etc. And locally, those standards are adopted, and so is that curriculum. So let us take a look at the English Language Arts / literacy standards for the state of Idaho. So here we have the general introduction of English Language Arts literacy. Then we have a general table of contents where it's the introduction, and it breaks it down each into different sections. So here's a kindergarten through 6th grade. Here's kindergarten through 5th grade standards. And then here is a general introduction just about the general content standards and how they're written, and what considerations were taken into account when making these. So a focus on results rather than means, and research and media skills blended into standards. Those are 2 examples. And then what's not covered in the standards, because the standards can be very broad and vague, but also be very specific. So, for example, number 1, the standards define what all students are expected to know and be able to do, and not how teachers should teach. So, as a teacher, you aren't specified how you have to teach. You are given the general content guidelines. This is what you are expected to teach your students. Now it is up to you to figure out a way to teach it to them in a way that is effective. And then you are taught how to read the document overall. And then it takes us into the content standards for each grades. So now we're going to go look at the grades 6th through 12th literacy content standards, because I am going to be a special education teacher, and more often than not we are going to be helping with English and math. So here we have CCRA period R period 1, and it says read closely to determine what the text explicitly says and to make logical inferences from it. Cite specific textual evidence when writing or speaking to support conclusions drawn from the text. So, determine is a big word, and so is logical inferences. So basically what students are going to be asked to do is read a certain text, maybe an article, and asked to make logical inferences from it, and in the future they are going to need to use specific textual evidence. So they're going to have to use things from the text when writing or speaking to support conclusions that they made. And so let's go see where this falls under Bloom's taxonomy. And under Bloom's taxonomy, this falls under analyzing and evaluating, so it basically is understanding, because you need to understand what you've been reading, and then they need to analyze what they've read. Then they need to evaluate and apply and give in-text citations for how they understand and came to a conclusion. And then under Webb's depth of knowledge, it would be under level 4, using extended thinking to synthesize information. The students have to think, and it can fall under level 2 as well, because they're putting facts into context, but it more falls under level 4 because they are using extended thinking to understand how they came to a conclusion and how to give in text citations based on that.